Oh my God. It is time once again. What's up to all our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? You're currently tuning into the CultPop podcast live stream, aka spoiler alert, lucky episode 777. Is it actually 777?
Yeah. No.
Because we didn't go live last week.
Oh, it's 776 then, isn't it? Sorry.
Moist Comics is wondering.
All right. Lucky episode 776.
Oh,
where we were.
77 is so lucky it's in two parts. We'll do 77 next week also. You're welcome.
Nice. Where we will review the past week's comics, a smattering of them, if you will, a skosh, as well as talk about some fun
Let's talk about
culture.
Yay or nay?
Pop culture topics for your listening and viewing pleasure. See, you're already filled with our pleasure. I'm your host, Johnny Destructo of JD's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, PA, a super rad shop which caters to nerdy and nerd-adjacent individuals of all shapes and sizes, except jerks. No jerks allowed. Joining me tonight are Brian, Lieb, and Noel Bartocci. Sup, fellas?
Hey. Hi.
Cool.
I'm all right.
Thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you to everyone joining us here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. If you like what we're doing, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Smash that like button.
Fucking just murder it. The joy of doing this live is all of you in the chat, so pipe up. We'll be part of the conversation. You can also email us like these other people did. I'm about to read them. You can email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com. And you can also join our book club / movie club. It's a Zoom meeting every Tuesday night, and it alternates between movie and book club. This week, which is tomorrow night, 8 p.m. on Zoom, we're going to be discussing Captain America Truth, previously titled Red, White, and Black, which is about the American government's penchant for experimenting on African Americans instead of white Americans because they're terrible. And so this happened with regard to the Captain America Super Soldier Serum. And so we're going to be talking about that tomorrow night. Read the book and then join us for a convo. And then after that, the week after that will be Movie Club, and we're doing Minari, which stars Stephen Yeun from Walking Dead. So anyway, yeah, if you want to do that, you can go to facebook.com and type in the group JD's Hero Complex Book Club. With that out of the way, I took my sips of beer. I feel I should tell you, we've got letters.
We've got letters.
We have correspondence.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Now I don't have to do the song when none of us can match up tonally.
We have letters.
Kevin is people were in the comments, already in the comments, fucking upset because did I miss last week? No, I was not able to do it. So then Noel and Brian were like, F else, we're gonna do the show. To which Kevin in the comments replies, F me, F you.
That's the kind of thing we couldn't bear. That's why we didn't do the show last night. I didn't want to be effed.
Yeah. Hi, Mars. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Hal, and everyone else. I'm going to read these letters. Here they come. This is called Diabolical. This was sent on March 7th. From... Who's this from? Oh, I'll tell you who it's from. Hey, guys, it's your boy, Charles from Chattanooga, a.k.a. Hal2814. I watched The Boys Diabolical animated series on Amazon, and OMG, 2 exclamation points. It's way over the top violent, and I was surprised by the celebrities who wrote episodes and voiced some of the characters. Just wanted to know if any of you watched it yet and what you think of it. Okay, I'm out. Spoiler alert! So I did. Ray, our assistant, came early in the morning, and so they were watching my son so I could get ready and do stuff and take care of whatnots. And I had put on the Diabolical show, and it is delightful. Is delightful the right word? It's hilarious. I only watched the first couple. The first one is very Looney Tunes. None of the characters actually speak, but it's all very like classic animation, but with tons of blood and murder. And that was, and then of course Justin Roiland did one, and that was friggin' hilarious. That was so good. Highly recommend. But I only watched the first 2 episodes, or the first episodes. Did you guys catch it at all?
Not a stitch of it. Nope, I haven't watched it. I am fascinated, or I think it's very, very cool that they're going with different animation styles and it's all different creative teams. Because The Boys is so very specific, and the source material is so very not. I don't like it that much, so I don't know if I would just want to rehash. I'm glad that it's seems crazy and all over the place as opposed to just more edgelord. So that's cool. I think that's cool.
Yeah. I used to be such a Garth Ennis fan. And at some point, and I think that point may have been The Boys, I just went, oh, I'm good. It just feels like he was doing the one thing over and over and over again. And that one thing was edgelordy. How much can I outdo my less gross out joke?
Yeah.
And so I just didn't have the heart. Like Preacher had a ton of that, but Preacher balanced it with a lot of heart and a lot of character work and friendship and all this other stuff I really loved. And I know there's elements of that in The Boys, but it just didn't hit me in the same. What's the phrase? Schnadoodles?
Schnadoodles.
So.
No, that's definitely
Classic
a word.
Phrase.
That's definitely a word I've heard. Actually, I have that tattooed on my lower back. But
I thought you were gonna say on your dick.
You don't know.
Yeah, but I can only spell schnock.
Yeah. Hey,
you also don't know the location.
You don't know the location of my penis.
I don't. That's true.
Wait, that's true. Yeah, I don't know where on your body your penis is. It's true.
It's in my.
I have assumptions.
Surprise everyone. I'm like I had a similar feeling about The Boys when it was coming out. I remembered all the controversy. Like it was announced on Vertigo and then canceled from, and then Dynamite picked it up, and there was a big old gap. I think it actually had. The Boys had like 6 issues. The first arc was DC, and
I totally forgot that.
Yeah, and they got rid of it, and it was like Dynamite was just like, yeah, we'll publish this trash.
We're Dynamite. Yeah. We will ever.
Yeah. We'll do it in between Vampirella reprints. It'll be great. And I stuck with it for like 35 issues, but it kept falling to the bottom of my stack. I've always wanted to go back and actually read it, but at the time I was like, I don't enjoy this anymore. Like I'm not a 14-year-old boy anymore. I don't enjoy this.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that
hold
there's
on.
layers.
I don't want to. I'm sure there are adults out there who aren't 14.
I'm going to make the assumption I grew out of that style of humor around 14 to 17, and I no longer enjoyed it.
I see. Gotcha.
I am no longer a 14-year-old boy. This is not for me.
Gotcha.
Also, everybody that reads it is stupid.
It's freaking idiots. No. But
I'm going to go back. I want to read it.
The actual show, the live action show, is, I think, really good. I was really surprised at how much better the show is than the comic book.
Absolutely.
It doesn't seem like Brian's cup of tea. Is that your cup of, Brian?
I have not tried the show, although I've heard it is, like you say, a lot better than the comic book and of a very different philosophy. It seemed like the same events happen, but they're presented as things which are presented as good in the comic are presented as bad or whatever, you know. The comic, I think I tried the beginning of it and I was like, nah. And a couple of issues, I think.
It like on paper, it seems as though it's what you would hate. Like the description of the book.
Yes.
Is just like, of all the people I know, Brian would not enjoy that.
So and I've never much gotten into Garth Ennis's stuff in general, you know. But what you say is overdone. The like, how can I outgross my last gross out joke? Like, I don't even like the first gross out joke usually. Not that I'm like up in
Me
a
too.
tizzy. I'm like, I don't like that. Yeah.
You bring up a good point about Preacher, though, JD. Like, all of the gross out humor or the gross aspects of that was juxtaposed by actual character development and or like heart or an emotional core. The Boys attempts to do that in the relationship of Wee Huey to everyone else, but he's never, at least in the first chunk, it doesn't feel like he has any kind of arc other than he's constantly learning and he's constantly just a caricature. And it's like, I have no real footing. Like, am I rooting for this guy that's an absolute piece of shit, or am I rooting for this guy that looks like Simon Pegg and I don't really know anything about other than the fact that his girlfriend was killed? Like, there doesn't feel like there's an emotional core, at least in the first half of the book.
Agreed. Yeah. I agree with the thing that I said that you agreed with.
Yep. We're here together.
Well, my one note about the Boys Diabolical cartoon is that it is, in the very beginning, I think they even show an issue of the Boys comic book and it flips open. And that's how the show starts, I think, if I remember correctly. Because Wee Huey is still drawn like Simon Pegg and not the character from the television show that everyone is coming. Probably most of the people are coming. They're probably going, wait, why does that guy look like Simon Pegg, who plays Wee Huey's father in the show, which was a cute little nod.
That's cool.
Yeah. Because he's just too old to play Wee Huey now. So anyway, all right. So there's that email. We got another one from Mars Comics called I Can't Remember. Hello, JD. We just got this about 4 minutes before we went live. I hope you and Brian and Noel are doing well. Every Monday evening, I get a notification from YouTube reminding me that the show will be starting shortly. I smile because I know I will soon be watching you guys, and it is a lot of fun. You guys put on a great show. However, lately, whenever I get my notification, I suddenly remember that I was supposed to email you. I just don't remember why. Oh, well, I decided to email you guys anyway to let you know that you have a fabulous show. I enjoy it greatly, and I look forward to every week. I know that someday I will remember what I was supposed to email you about. Till then, just wanted to let you know I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Mar Blasio, Mars Comics.
It was a book.
Mars, it was a book. We had reviewed a book, and you asked me to put it aside, and you were going to pay for it, and I was going to mail it to you. I don't think I ever put it back out on the shelf. So let me take a look. Up, here it is.
What is it?
Step by Bloody Step Number One.
Wow.
I still have it for you by Cy Spurrier. If you remember, it was the book that had no dialogue, but was pretty dense nonetheless. So yeah, Step by Bloody Step Number One. I still have it for you if you want it. If you don't want it, no pressure. That's totally fine. I almost knocked over. I started my first Lego, you guys.
Oh, your first Lego?
My first. Well, here's the thing. My first Lego set.
All right, your first adult Lego.
No.
Oh.
Well, yeah, sure, yes, but like, when I was a child, Legos, you just got a box of Lego, bucket of Legos.
Yeah. And
you just made whatever whatever came out is what happened. And so mine would be like, oh, it's a 2x4 with wheels. I guess it's a motorcycle. Sure. So my wife and I, we bought this bonsai tree Lego slash cherry blossom tree Lego. It's you can be one or the other, which is lovely. So we had a little date night. We watched, we sat down, we watched a movie. We ordered some Ethiopian food, and we got about halfway through before our help had to leave, and we had to go, have our son.
Now,
go, please, Brian.
May I mention that a cherry tree can be a bonsai tree, because that is a style of cutting and grooming, and not a tree classification. You know what I mean? So multiple different kinds of trees can be bonsai trees, including cherry blossom trees.
Holy shit!
There you go. Thanks,
go. Brian.
Yeah, bonsai is like the verb.
Yeah. Let's go bonsai, you might say, if you kind of spoke at.
If you're really only talking
Japanese
specifically about trees and pruning
doing
them
that
in a specific way. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, Hal is in the comments saying laying in bed watching tonight.
Oh, nice.
I shared with JD.
Bow.
I have a Lego story. I got drunk Friday, and then
I'm
a
so
package
jealous.
arrived on Sunday, and apparently I drunk ordered the Technic Batmobile.
Oh, sweet.
Now here's the thing.
Yeah.
Technic there's a record player. Is there any relation?
No. Technic is a
Why
record
is it called
player?
Technic? I've never heard of Lego Technic.
Well, it's probably just a branding like of machine-based Lego or something.
Yeah, I was gonna
like
say,
that.
yeah, it's been around for
Yeah.
I want to say decades. Like it's just they're like adult Legos. Do you want the information or not?
Yeah, but I want to make faces at you while you do it.
They're like adult Legos with air quotes. How it has moving parts. You build a little motor. It's usually got light features. Like it's a little bit more intense.
Nice.
Was what's it called? The typewriter that I bought
You're
you? Is that a
typing?
Technic?
It's not. It's actually that's a Lego idea. So a Lego ideas are. So all right, we're gonna do a Lego masterclass real quick.
Oh no.
Lego
okay.
ideas.
Sorry, everybody.
Are Lego sets and projects that are designed by viewers, by architects and all kinds of shit, and they put it forward to Lego. People vote on which ones they want to get built and manufactured, and then they do. So like the piano set is a Lego idea. A bunch of I think the Friends set, there's a bunch of Lego idea sets. So they're almost like crowd sourced and then funded by Lego. The typewriter is one of those. The cool. Technic ones are almost always vehicles or vehicles like planes, cranes, cars, that kind of thing.
That's cool. When I was a kid, they did have sets. JD, did they not have sets at all when you were a kid?
I don't know if they had sets. I know that if there were sets, I was too poor to have them. So what I got was hand-me-downs of buckets of Lego.
Oh, I got you. Because
Same.
as I recall, they were always sets, and I took it as a point of pride that I never built the thing that the set described, but it would just be yeah, and I would throw them down in the toy aisle on my way out. Be like, I'm not building this, but I'll take the blocks.
That's so. It's not odd because I've known you for years, but that's so Brian.
It's not. Thank you. Yes.
It's so
That's so Brian.
It's my favorite Nickelodeon show.
Yeah.
That's so Brian.
Here's a $50 toy set. I'm not going to use your fucking book.
Yeah. I'm just here for the
directions are stupid. I'm going to
Yeah.
No, but I have a similar experience to JD's where when I was younger, they didn't come in pre-packed sets. It was this giant sack that was in the closet, and we were only allowed to play with it supervised because if we weren't supervised, then the pieces would just be found under feet. A big old hundreds and hundreds of pieces that don't match from multiple different types of sets, and you just play with it.
Yeah. All right, we have one more email. We're not even done the email.
Here we go.
Let's see. Scumbag fanboys. Hey gang, it's your boy 2814, aka Charles in Chattanooga, aka Green Lantern Tribble. I'm a big fan of George Perez. Met him a few times at Dragon Con in Atlanta. Once he was hanging out with me, and no, once. Listen, we were hanging out is the point. Checking out cosplayers. I was cool on the outside, but inside I was screaming, I'm hanging out with George Perez. Now he announced on his Facebook page he's only got a few months left to live, according to his doctors. It pissed me off that he let everyone know that DC and Marvel finally put out his issues of JLA Avengers. Folks already online selling them for $200 and up. Makes me sick. People are going to make money off him dying. I just need to rant. Waiting to watch you guys tonight. So, all right, Charles, here's the thing. Look at Noel's got one. So, all right, a couple of
cover.
things. I'm glad you brought this up, Charles.
I paid cover, but I also donated an additional $30 to the Hero Initiative.
So I'm glad you brought this up. I also have it. And I am doing a raffle. Every raffle ticket is $5. You can Venmo me, you can PayPal me, you can do however you can, I don't know, mail it to me in the mail. But the point is to raise money for the Hero Initiative. The way that this JLA Avengers book was put out was the Hero Initiative, I guess, saw our tweet storm, because all of us were tweeting about, like, hey, Marvel and DC, George Perez is going into hospice. Maybe you should finally reprint JLA Avengers and donate the money to him. So Hero Initiative, this, and they're able to get 7,000 copies printed. I ordered 20 copies, and I got 3. So the people who are selling them for $200 online, give it a once over. You may see that the reason it's $200 is because they're raising money for the Hero Initiative. People have wanted to get a hold of this book, this printing, that the kind of the fair way a lot of us comic shops are handling it is to use it as an opportunity to raise more money for the Hero Initiative and for George Perez. So I know there's a lot of things online, a lot of eBay selling for $200, but all the ones I've seen have been like to raise money for the Hero Initiative. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing $5 raffles. You can buy as many raffles as you want. You can just Venmo, PayPal, etc. And then I had another copy that I was thinking of putting up on eBay for $200 to raise money. Just, 100% of the proceeds are going to the Hero Initiative. I'm just not sure if I should do another raffle or if I should sell it for $200 like everyone else is. I'm not sure, because the thing about it is selling the book for $200 helps. And it helps me send money to them. I'm also donating money on top of that from my personal whatever. But I feel like giving it to the person with the most money doesn't feel right. That's why I'm doing the raffle, because everyone pays $5. We're still able to raise money, but then someone who may not be able to afford it can still get it. You don't, it's not the richest getting the thing.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And Hal, to your point, yes. There are people flipping them for themselves. Yeah. Just if you are willing to spend $200 on this, do so wisely, or make sure that it's either directly to the person, or so if it's from a shop that's selling. So I think Midtown Comics is notoriously selling it for $200. They are reputable. It says explicitly there that's what they're using the money for. If it's just eBay auction from Steve Williams in Ohio, it may not be. You're just paying $200 and he's pocketing the $170. That's very likely. But a lot of shops are doing raffles. A lot of shops are explicitly showing proof of purchase and getting all the stuff to the Hero Initiative. Just do what you can. But the fact that we even have this print is ridiculous. Like, 2 large multimedia conglomerates, subsets of large multimedia conglomerates, were able to quick press in the middle of giant supply chain issues, quick press at least 7,000 copies before he passes away. So this is cool. This is all a net positive. People that bitch too much beyond just kind of like, oh, that sucks, because they couldn't get one, are usually just whiny assholes.
Yeah.
To generalize.
I've been seeing so much of that. Like, oh, they couldn't print more. I want one. I'm like, it's not about you, bud.
I was lucky enough to, when I found out about it, I have more than one shop, technically. JD's is my main, but I've got more than one. I reached out to more than one and just like, hey, if I can get one, that's great. I was able to get one for cover, but knowing everything that's going on, also donated, because this is literally for the Hero Initiative.
I'm sorry, I'm responding to the chat. That's why I'm typing. Rob's also asking, do you guys watch Lego Wars? I don't, but it sounds fun. Yeah. Go ahead.
Do you want to summarize what the Hero Initiative is? Does everybody know that?
Go for it. You do it.
Oh, okay. So I don't know the log line, but the Hero Initiative is an organization that it's a nonprofit that collects and disperses money to comic creators who are in need. So it's notoriously an industry that has no safety net, no union, no insurance. That it's just starving artists for the last 80 to 100 years, who often have nothing to do when they get sick, when they're in legal trouble. So like just the Hero Initiative is a fund for the people who create the things that we love. That's it.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys, I may just, should I just raffle off the second one? I'll raffle off the second one.
I haven't talked to you about this. I think you should hold on to the third one and raffle it in November. I think it's November for Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month.
Because that's what George Perez is suffering from.
And by then it'll be even harder to get a hold of the book, and you may get a bigger raffle turnout. So I honestly think you should just sit on it for a couple of months.
All right. Well, this one that I'm raffling off, the first one I'm raffling off, we're doing it until the end of the month. So today's the 21st. How many days are in March?
31.
31.
Oh, you got 10 more days. And you can buy as many raffle tickets as you want. So $5 a piece. Do me a favor. It's not a big deal. I'll cover it either way. But if you could select friends and family for Venmo and PayPaling me, because a lot of people are sending me the $5 minus the fee. So I'm just gonna cover all of it. It's not a big deal. I'm just gonna write a check for whatever plus the fees. But that's it. All right, we are here to talk about the comic books. You know what though? Just one little before we move on. I am delighted about this. I love that they've done this. The JLA Avengers. Yeah. That's all I wanted to say. I have such a good feeling in my heart, and all of the dipshits online that are complaining about it can't ruin it for me. George Perez, I think they're just suffering, kind of ruins it for me. But the rest of it's kind of cool. Yeah. And he's delightful. I've met him, and he did a bump for my show. This is George Perez, and you're listening to CultPop Podcast.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mara says, I will definitely PayPal you in a couple of days. As long as you remember why.
Write it down.
Jokes. All right, here we go. What are we going to talk about first? Oh, we're going to talk about Batman Superman World's Finest #1 from DC Comics, written by Mark Waid with art by Dan Mora. The Dark Knight, the Man of Steel. They are the two finest superheroes that the world has ever known. And they're together again in an epic new series. In the not-too-distant past, Superman's powers are supercharged from a devastating chemical attack by the villain Matello, and the only ally that the ultra-powerful Man of Tomorrow can turn to in this turbulent hour is Gotham's own Dark Vengeance, the Batman. A nearly fatal burst of power drives Bruce Wayne to his own extreme measures to help his friend, enlisting none other than the Doom Patrol for aid. It's the world's greatest superheroes from the world's greatest comic book talent in an epic comic book experience that kicks off the next big event. Oh, that kicks off the next big events in the DCU. Get ready, it's time to soar. The what?
I'm glad I didn't read this shit before I read the book. The Doom Patrol was a surprise, but then this is not just a whatever story. Whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I gotta say, this was delightful. I was very excited when I saw that it was coming. The Jeff Loeb one was kind of fun. It got very silly in parts, but I like Mark Waid quite a bit. And Dan Mora can do no wrong thus far. My man is a beast when it comes to the art.
Would you like Mora Dan?
I would like Mora Dan. I see what you've done there.
See?
OMG, you didn't post a video of Batman 66.
That's true.
It says
There's nothing to be surprised about.
Yeah, it was just a brand. Keep going.
I don't understand what that comment means. Oh, I didn't even see that. Okay. I was reading the notes, not looking at the camera.
So this Brian, book was awesome. I thought it was great. I think it was my favorite book of the week. The art was phenomenal. And I just noticed now the trade dress, the title is cool with the Batman and Superman symbols in it. It was like straight up DC Comics. Very
nice,
classic DC. I love the things where what do you got there, Noel? Who are those people? Oh, they're slapping in a recreation of that meme.
So those are the Chip Zdarsky variants.
Nice.
Is that one
and
mine?
Evan Shaner. No, these are the ones that I
Damn
ordered
it.
well before yours.
Those are
Okay.
cool.
And these are the ones I'm getting these slabbed. These are the coolest damn variant covers I've seen in years.
Yeah.
I was able to get that high five one, but Noah was able to get it for me. So he ordered it. And I may actually slab that as well. I just want a poster of it. That's delightful. The two of them
cool.
high fiving. I freaking love it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Continue, bro.
Yeah, their relationship in this is great. This is like the Batman-Superman relationship that I most like.
Where they're
and-
like, do you bleed? You will.
Yeah, not as much though.
It's my favorite.
But
Besties.
it just as it goes, it becomes much more than Superman, Batman. You know, there's Doom Patrol, the Guardians show up, and it just pulls in all these DC Comics stuff. And I found myself thinking, like, this is as cool of a beginning as Batman, as Brave and the Bold, which had a very similar, like, a lot of DC stuff was in it. Yes, JD. What's up?
It just occurred to me. This feels very much, you know how, I don't know. Should I say we all loved Batman Universe?
Yes.
Yeah, it was the
This
best
felt
Batman book last
like-
year.
This felt
years
like
ago.
Batman Universe to me.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
it's-
comic booky. It's fun. It's got guest stars. It's things thrown in there. Go ahead.
And stuff like Superman gets injected with multiple pieces of red kryptonite. That kind of like DC lore playing around, like what it would happen if this happened kind of thing is in there, which I love. But the reason that the comparison to Brave and the Bold is so apt is that Mark Waid also wrote that. I didn't realize that he was writing this book until the end. And when I got to the end, I was like, oh, that's why it's
Which era
just
of
DC.
Brave and Bold did he write?
So he wrote
Yeah, what do
the
you mean?
one
I
in...
know Busiek and Azzarello. Like, I don't remember Wade.
Oh, it was phenomenal. It was like between 2005 and 2010, something like that. And it was not long. It was I think kind of like two like 8 or 12 issue stories that were connected, I think, by the end of it. Both of them were connected. The first half was phenomenal, and each one was just two heroes teaming up. It was like Batman and Hal Jordan was the first
Are you
one, and then
Drawn by
Are you
George
sure
Perez and Jerry Ordway.
yes, right. I forgot
Yeah,
that
man.
part, but yeah. Oh, it was
Yeah.
great. It was one of the, I think it was one of the best DC comics of its era, and maybe like the modern era.
I presume that's all out of print, JD. What are you looking up?
I imagine. I guarantee it. Yeah.
Yeah.
If not, I'll find it.
Hey, if you find one, get one for me too.
I was hella excited about this book. I love Mark Waid. I pray at the altar of Dan Mora.
Mhm.
And I gotta say, the first couple pages, this book was a lot. It's frenetic. It is almost in different hands. I think it would be unruly, but because Waid is going for a very, very specific feel, a very, very specific almost era of comics, it works. But hot damn, if it was like 5 to 10 degrees in either direction, I don't know if this would be as entertaining as it was, because this is kitchen sink comic booking. They literally throw the kitchen sink and like characters are popping up every other page and things are just happening at such a breakneck pace. If it wasn't for this team being so in tune, this creative team being so in tune, I don't know if it would work. This is almost just like the perfect alchemy. I loved it.
Yeah. I'm hoping this will be one of those like trade paperbacks that I just keep around.
Yeah.
For good Batman Superman.
I can't believe I didn't think about it before, but you are absolutely right. This is Batman Universe. This feels the exact same tone. This is evergreen, iconic characters.
Yeah.
This
and interacting with a wide variety of main DC characters or side DC characters.
It doesn't matter what year it is, what continuity is, how old the person is. This reads well.
Yeah.
And that's just
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about Rob, but I am always delighted when I see good Robin drawings, like classic looking Robin drawing. Batman and Superman, I see them all the time. They've got great poses. There's tons of great images of Batman and Superman, but I love a good Robin story. And I don't know why, but he looks great in this. Like Dan Moore draws a great Robin.
You like the
Wait,
pants?
go back one page. Go back or two pages.
Okay,
now.
hold on. God damn it.
It's
Here we
the
go.
opposite direction of that.
Not this one?
No, go back 2 pages.
Again?
Yep. That acting on the bottom left, where
Yeah.
he's got the syringe. That is one of my favorite panels of this because it's not just about like the splashes. It's also about like, it also too, like on the other side, this is probably my favorite, like 2 pages in the whole issue too, because you're seeing the grotesqueness of what's happening to Superman and such great acting. And it's the panel layout. This book is dope.
So good.
But then I think I just noticed like 2 pages forward, is Robin in a different costume?
Yes.
Well, yeah, because it takes place in 2 time periods. So one of them has been in the what would you call
earliest days?
That's right.
Like the bottom left, he's got boxer briefs instead of briefs. Now they're slightly longer boxer briefs.
Yeah.
But then in modern day, he's got the tights.
Yeah.
That was the part of the story where I felt like it was too much. But I was fine with it. Like it goes to a flashback for seemingly no reason, kind of, and then comes back. But now I'm thinking, wait, knowing that this is, I guess, leading to a big thing in the DC universe.
Yeah.
I wonder if this series is going to jump all over the place.
I'm curious.
I like I always like it when they do the time indicator with Batman being a yellow oval or not. I always find that fun. And this is even sent. I also like the fact that in continuity, he had a yellow oval for like a very classic costume for a little while, which is cool because even that is in the past now. And then I was beside myself when we got even further back and he's got just the classic no yellow oval thing.
Is that an ad for the book on the last page of the book?
I think that's the title.
In the book,
or
yes.
the cover of the book, though.
No, that's the last. That's the ad.
That's the last.
Yeah,
that is.
It's a digital file. It might be.
Yeah.
No, I think it is.
I've got a hard copy here.
In the physical, I think it
No.
is just like a.
At the end, it's
Oh, okay.
Superman and Lois.
Good show.
Let me check mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome. Everyone should pick this up. This is going to be
highly recommend.
great.
Yeah. I like how.
And I'm not sure
Robin
why
also
they
is
did a
like,
Jerry
"Oh, my
Seinfeld
friend."
variant, but
Yeah, well, Seinfeld loves Superman.
all right, let's move on to the next book. It is Carnage #1 from Marvel Comics, written by Ram V with art by Francesco Mattina. After the revelations of Carnage Forever, which I did not read, and in a year that's set to be a celebration of all things Carnage, this is one symbiote story you cannot afford to miss. Did anyone read Carnage Forever?
No. Is
Cool.
this a year
Cool.
set to be a celebration of all things Carnage? What other stuff is coming
It's the
out?
30th anniversary of Carnage. Shoot me in the
Oh.
dick.
Is that how you celebrate? Is that how you how you
I
honor?
just can't believe it's been 30 years since Carnage was introduced.
In my case, it would be shoot me in the lower back.
Lower back.
That's
In the
you can really see the 30 years under my legs. All right. No.
Oh, really? Is it going to be like that? I suggested we read this book because I gave it a shot. I don't care about Carnage, yet I have enjoyed sometimes when he's used. I liked Donny Case's Absolute Carnage. That was fun. But nothing about the character is appealing to me. I think it's the epitome of 90s. I think, first of all, new game. Every time we say edgelord, take a drink. But it's the epitome of 90s edgelord garbage. It's like, how do we make it darker, slimier, bloodier, cooler? It's either add chains or another symbiote. So I've never been a fan. But I gave this a shot because it's a #1. I was I was surprised. I kind of dug it. They
Same.
did what
Same.
I did. They did what I wanted them to do, which was make a story not about Carnage.
Yeah.
He's tangentially on the outskirts of this just normal detective hunting a serial killer story. I don't think this could last. It's going to get all real carnagey, but I'm at least kind of intrigued and fascinated, especially about the opening scene, the way that the book starts. It's, like it starts in a crazy place and then you're like, what, 5 days before or whatever the time frame is. But
Yeah.
it's like a particle accelerator thing and craziness, and the main character is being broken up into multiple pieces in like in a crazy way, and then it's like, oh, Carnage. I'm like, okay, this, you got my attention, book. Now how do we get here? So I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. Was this the best thing I've ever read? No. If it wasn't for the show, I wouldn't have even like maybe bothered sampling it, but you got me, Ram V. This was interesting. Yeah.
I did like Carnage. I was a big Venom fan, and then they put Carnage, and I was like, he's like Venom, but a serial killer. And I was real into serial killers back then. I was reading up on all the different serial killers. I had a bunch of books on them and stuff like that. And I was lonely. I didn't have a lot of friends. So my first thought was, oh, what's Reed Richards doing in this book? That's neat. Why is his face sliced in 3? And it took me a while to go, oh, I see what's happening. He's just being distorted in a myriad of different ways. I wasn't looking forward to reading this either. I kind of fell off the Carnage a long ago. But my first thought when I started reading this was, oh, it would be cool if we had a Carnage that was like, brain, come on, don't fail me now. This is very much in line with TV show
Dexter?
No, close.
Hannibal?
Yes, Hannibal. Yes, and how there were different serial killers who would leave these really elaborate scenes
That was
involving the corpses. And this felt a lot like Hannibal to me, which was a wonderful show, canceled too early. And I thought, oh, wouldn't that be cool if they changed Carnage to be more interesting and not just like, no, I'm gonna stab everybody because blood's, and he actually had he was actually like intelligent and stuff and hard to catch, not because he was sharp all over the place, you know what I mean? So I didn't realize that Cletus Cassidy, I remember Cletus Cassidy got ripped in twain.
Oh.
He was betwixt during Siege, right? Like what's his name? The not Superman of the Marvel Universe? Sentry. The Sentry like ripped him in half, right?
No, I thought that was Ares.
Has he been? I mean, he's been ripping some folks up, Sentry. But yeah, he flew Carnage up into space and ripped him in half. So I don't remember if Cletus has been back since then, but right now we've got a symbiote with no Cletus, and he's just hanging out by his onesies, and we've got this kind of Hannibal character meets Dexter, trying to get the attention because of the events of King in Black, and he considers Carnage to be this god, so he's trying to get his attention. This was really good. I was surprised. I can't remember caring about Ram V writing ever, but
Didn't he write that Swamp Thing that you liked just recently?
Well, we all heard it was good. I don't think any of us have read it yet.
Oh, okay. I read the first issue.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
And then I'm curious to see how a symbiote. They don't explain it, but he winds up obtaining Hydro Man.
Yeah.
And he's somehow able to hold him with his symbiote, even though he's water.
Molecules. Yeah, I was wondering that too.
Go ahead. No,
so
your hand is up.
I still had a copy. I did have a copy of Carnage Forever, and I went back and just like thumbed through it because they make some allusions to this. They were in the same prison, and he grabbed him, and it pretty much ends on him absconding with Hydro Man and Hydro Man freaking out. We still don't know what his plans are for him, but I thought this was interesting. The symbiote kind of on a molecular level being just as kind of strong and malleable. But you mentioned Hannibal. I'm getting more Immortal Hulk vibes from this issue, and I think that might be the tone that Ramvi is going for, taking pre-established kind of the backup story. I didn't like it all. Taking pre-established kind of characters, and even though Carnage has always been horror, doesn't feel like it's ever been treated like actual horror. It's been treated like a sticker on a skateboard, you know, like
I know what you mean. Sanitized.
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's always been like, look how dangerous and edgy and take a drink. Look how dangerous and murdery and violent this is. Look at it, but not actually being menacing or dangerous or not evoking that like a elevated horror, I guess.
Yeah.
I like this. I like this a lot.
Yeah, this was good. Brian?
Yeah, I thought it was all right. I always thought Carnage was cool, back in the day. And this was fine. I was, we're reading through it. It's certainly an interesting thing that this murderer is doing. And then we got to the symbiote part, and I was like, oh, he needs they're going to pair him with a new guy. This is the new guy, presumably. Or it's one of those police detectives, maybe the one who seems like he's getting sliced up in the beginning.
I got the impression that Carnage doesn't need a host.
Yeah. I mean, that's certainly the impression that Carnage would like you to have during this. But I don't know. Or he might not. Or something that occurred to me when JD was mentioning Hannibal, which I didn't watch, but I think he was saying they had different serial killers. Maybe Carnage will go from host to host. He seems, the Hydro Man thing seems like he's talking about how Hydro Man doesn't use his full power, and the symbiote is kind of liquidy. He might be about to experience like some kind of change. Maybe there will be multiple Carnages, in some way mimicking Hydro Man's full ability somehow. Maybe there will be multiple Carnages with different serial killers. Who knows?
I wonder if we are all we've all fallen off the Carnage boat or never got on it. I wonder what like hardcore Carnage stans think of this.
Right.
Like this is not the kind of book that I was expecting. Because I mean, a lot of people felt that way about Cates's Venom run. Like, not my Venom.
I mean, so did I. But I still loved it.
This is pretty.
You're a little bit of a different reader.
Right? Like this is pretty Carnage. Like, I don't know, classic. Not exactly classic Carnage, but other than not being Cletus Cassidy, it's pretty.
I mean,
Carnage-ish.
the murder of it all, yes, but not the tone.
Yeah.
This is not the tone of anything Carnage I've read before. Personally,
yeah.
Again, it's been a lot more. It's been less show and more tell in my experience. It's just like he did all this terrible stuff. He's terrible. Look, he's terrible, and they don't really show it so much as just keep implying it. This feels like they're actually showing it, and it's disturbing.
Indeed.
Before we move on to the next book, excuse me. People in the comments are talking about Predator and the Predator handshake. For people who don't know, there's a ridiculous scene in Predator where Arnold Schwarzenegger and
Carl Weathers see each other the first time, and they give each other like this really long bro, like just they're trying to out muscle each other. And you a bitch, one of the 80s things. Anyway, because it's been discussed in the comments below, I'm going to share with you. I showed it at the Colonial Theater, and they asked me to do the poster. So I did this poster which showcases the bro handshake as if the Predator is watching it using his infrared vision, and he's there going, WTF, because he doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. So that's what I decided to. That's the poster that I drew for the Predator film.
I like that.
So yeah, thanks. So since people were talking about it, I thought I'd share. Kevin says that's amazing. Thank you, Kevin. So yeah, let's move on to the next book. Oh, it's for sale. It is $15 print.
Oh, is that right?
Just so you know. Yeah, it is. That is right.
So you make things for sale.
What are other ways
make
that people
things
can
for
support?
sale.
Yeah.
You can buy my poster prints. You can buy my stickers. You can go to patreon.com/JohnnyDestructo. You can help us out that. If you don't have any money or you think my art is stupid, then don't send me your money. But you can also help the show by just telling your friends about it, commenting down in the chat, hanging out with us, liking and subscribing and all that stuff. So yeah.
Are you on Etsy,
you should do
JD?
that.
Can people buy these prints from Etsy?
I am on Etsy. You can
that
buy
right?
many of my prints and enamel pins and stickers at johnnydestructo.com, which really just takes you to my Etsy store.
Very cool. And
Thanks,
you said
man.
you don't
I
want
always
people to
forget
buy
that.
it. Yeah, you should mention that so that people know.
I should.
Just like
Yeah.
these people do now. That's phenomenal.
Yeah. All right, next book. Here we go. Slumber #1 from Image Comics, written by Tyler Burton Smith with art by Vanessa Cardinale. Nathan Fox Stetson is a nightmare hunter, a dream detective. She runs a shoddy back alley business where she helps clients sleep at night by entering their dreams and killing their nightmares. But Stetson's past comes back to haunt her when she tracks down a literal living nightmare, a serial killer that murders people in their sleep. Like Freddy Krueger. I didn't even put that together until just now. Let's see. Noel, shut up. Brian, what'd you think?
I think for one thing, that synopsis, I don't think the killer. Oh,
damn it!
The handshake. I haven't seen that movie in a very long time.
You know
It's
what?
delightful.
Kind of holds up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does.
I don't think the killer kills people in their sleep, at least not during this issue. They cause people to sleepwalk and kill other people. Seems to be what happens. I thought it was fine. It was it was all right. You know, like a lot of the stuff was stuff that I would think was cool. I don't know, the art was like a little off-putting and it just didn't really gel much for me. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we didn't get enough about who these dream people are. You know, maybe coming from their perspective more, I would have been more interested. Yeah, I don't know. What did you guys think? What did you guys think about the art and the? There's a lot going on in the art, and there's a certain the quality of non-realism is like a little off-putting, or is that or difficult?
I see why it's a horror book, but we've seen a couple of books like this that sort of have body horror, but with sort of, I don't want to call it silly. Well, a silly looking art style.
Yeah.
That at least
but hard edged,
not,
like silly but hard edged.
I Hate Fairyland or Fuck Fairyland by Scotty Young. Farmhand, stuff like that. So this didn't surprise me because I've seen books like this before. And I thought it was okay too. I wasn't wowed. I wasn't amazed. I thought it was a cute idea, but I wasn't emotionally involved in anything that was happening. So yeah, I think I'm kind of on your boat there. I think maybe I liked it a little bit more than you did, but I wasn't enamored. No.
Same. I liked it a little bit more than you did, and you liked it a little bit more than he did.
All right.
Yeah.
But I still don't disagree with your collective gripes. I did like the main character, especially a little bit towards. So the main character I'm thinking is Stetson. But I also did like the side character of this little eccentric detective. But
the dream hunter
I did like
person. Which one is Stetson?
The main character. She goes into dreams and shoots people.
The dream hunter. Okay, not the detective. Okay, yeah.
But I like the detective also. So I did really like the characters, especially midway through the book when you're getting like kind of a montage of the main character going through just finishing cases, going through dreams, and you get like kind of her ordinary world, and you also get the impression that she is addicted to it, the danger of it and the freedom of it, just traversing other people's subconscious. So I really dug that. All that has potential, but I absolutely did not like the tone, the style, the art. It was even in terms of the kind of loony adult tone that you guys are referring to, and like I Hate Fairyland and Farmhand and even Chew, stuff like that.
True,
Even by those standards, this is loose and inconsistent.
Yeah.
And there are times when it drew me out. Like you have this opportunity of Ordinary World and Dream World, and I feel like it's wasted because there's not enough of a visual interpretation of the dreams versus what the Ordinary World looks like. It just all looks kind of loony and exaggerated. And then there's monsters and a different color palette, but imagine how you could have really bridged that gap, right? A different style for every different dream. It just feels like there could have been so much more. I don't know. I guess I'm dinging it for the potential, even though I liked a lot of the pieces of it personally. But I read this and I could totally see it as a movie.
Attempting to place is not allowed on this line. Please dial 611 for customer service or dial 1.
What are you trying to do?
Well, I was trying to call. There's a phone number on her business card.
No.
Well, there's a 5. It's a 555.
That means it's
212-555. Yeah, I just thought I always try it. No matter, I always see a phone number or a website. I will always look that up to see if it exists.
Well, 555 is what they give out for things specifically, right? That are never real.
I don't know. I
think so.
Yes,
that doesn't stop me from trying.
Okay. Yeah. I try Green Lantern rings that I get to see if the
right.
See if they
just
work.
In case.
Right. What if that's the one?
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of potential here. I think that I wouldn't be surprised if this gets picked up as a property and it's going to be a movie. And just like The Boys, I think it would probably be pretty great. But this comic, I think, could have been a lot better. Like the bones of something better are here.
Yeah. Is her name? Did I read that right? Her name is Nathan.
I don't know.
They just call her Stetson, but in the thing I read,
Nathan Stetson.
Yeah, Nathan Fox Stetson.
Nate. Okay.
All right.
Her name is Nate.
Next book is The Reckoning War Trial of the Watcher #1 from Marvel Comics, written by Dan Slott, with art by Javier Rodriguez. In all of the multiverse, there is only one what-if world that Uatu has avoided watching. One what-if that he never wished to see. And now it will be revealed. The story that could damn him for all time. And a revelation that could change everything in his universe. Guest starring the Fantastic Four, Galactus, and the Silver Surfer. This was so much fun.
Yeah.
I was delighted by this book. I didn't know what to expect. Like I knew, we read The Reckoning War Part 1, and I haven't read anything since then. I think there was an issue of Fantastic Four probably after that. And then there's this one-shot Trial of the Watcher. And I remember in the first one, the moon explodes with the Watcher on it. So we were like, oh no. And so here he is on trial. He's fine. And
I thought he would be.
yeah, I know.
They even said in that issue, they're like, one of the first things we learned was how to transport as light really fast away from things. Yeah.
Especially when things are exploding. So, the Dan Slott writing, it's got Javier Rodriguez, who I always like. And this was just a bucket of fun. The fact that they took the Watcher's first, was it his first appearance?
First major story arc thing, I think was
the rival,
that.
Behold Galactus.
Yeah, I think he might have shown up one time before that, but it was this guy's coming back at some point. I think what's his name? The Red Ghost with the 3 monkeys or 8.
Yeah, Red Ghost, yeah.
Yeah, I think they went to the moon with him, the Fantastic Four did, and they ran into, they trespassed on the Watcher's property. And he kicks him out. I think his first appearance.
But anyway, this takes a look at the first major appearance that I was aware of, where he warns the Fantastic Four about Galactus. Which is kind of the fucking Uatu's entire thing is like, I am here only to watch, except for when I really wanted to help. And then I'll help. I'm never going to help. I'm not supposed to help, but also here's a little bit of help.
Can I get you anything?
so
a bagel?
Yeah. Yeah. Want me to move traffic a little bit for you? I see you're late for work.
Yeah.
The other Watchers they collect him and they bind him and they use the clockwork orange things on his eyelids to hold him open so that he has to watch a what if that he never looked at, which is what if he never interfered when Galactus showed up to tell the Fantastic Four. And this was awesome. I loved it. I'm going to say, as much as I love Javier Rodriguez's, it's a couple of strange panels in this book. One is on the screen right now where he's doing some sort of weird blinky tongue face.
Yeah.
right here in the right here.
Well, they knocked him out. Right?
He's
screaming.
Corey, Father, I beg you, open your eye. And he's like, Hey. Brian, take it away. You seem to agree with me.
Oh, I loved it. Probably my second favorite of the week. I loved the Kirby style, very classic FF art. I liked seeing in the very beginning, rarely if ever in Marvel Comics do they reference the fact that Uatu is, the host of What If, basically. Or that he in particular likes to look at these other alternate realities. And you get to see a bunch of the really big what ifs that they show him, right in the beginning. Although I think it's an odd assumption that there is only one alternate universe. They're like, all right, Uatu, if you had never intervened, this is what would have happened.
Right.
There's an infinite amount of things.
On one of the worlds, yeah.
Right. In some of them, it works out a lot better than this. Some of them
the first one. Just the first one, though. I think it works because of the first one, because I thought that too. But he's technically intervened hundreds of times, but they only
even this one time, there are then an infinite amount of outcomes from him not intervening. Some of which are horrible, some of which are better, and some of which are only minorly different. All
right, so you just broke comics.
No, comics are fun. But when
they did this.
Yeah.
There is a very seldom talked about event called Armageddon. 2000.
Oh yes, 2001. Yes,
or 2001. That's right. Armageddon 2001. Yeah. We rarely mention it here on the show, but I'm going to do so now.
Was that written by Friendly Neighborhood James Tynion IV? Which one is this?
Which one is Armageddon?
What's Armageddon 5?
I see.
Is it like a classic 7th issue scenario? Is there softball in there at all? Is it edgy?
So, one of the things that they did in that book was there were multiple, Wade Rider showed up. He puts his hand into the hero's heart to find out if he's going to become monarch. But then you find out that the act of doing that changes what's going to happen. And I think that's the same thing sort of here, right? Where it's just there are infinite number of what if stories, but we only look at one version of what if Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Five, right?
Right. Yeah. For just in an infinite reality of infinitely different universes, it's very possible that they're all expressed regardless of what it says in a comic. This shit is happening. But
also, too, they're only showing him the one that proves their point.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Right?
But you
or just I wasn't necessarily making that point with it. You're right though. They are here's the one.
Yeah,
but I was just observing that. Yeah,
holding him down. Yeah,
or maybe the way that they watch things. It's let me see what happens in this, and something about the process of watching is just selects one universe to see, and this is what comes up. But yeah, this panel with Reed Richards looking out, and you see his eye very large in this Kirby type telescope was pretty cool.
There it is, yeah.
Oh, the MLB line was awesome. Not without the express permission from the MLB, chap.
Do you need that?
I don't care. It was great. I mean, to broadcast, yes, but just
Just to
the
look.
wholesome nature of
Reed.
this era Reed Richards of just like, we shan't pirate a baseball game, my friend.
Yeah. I never
Felt
liked
very
the
like
whole.
Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never liked the whole like Reed Richards is bad, probably because he's so smart. That has been happening in Marvel for the last 10 or it happened a little bit like 10 or 15 years ago for a while.
Mhm.
But yeah, really cool. Just like a second but very different classic comic story this week.
Mhm. No, what'd you think? God damn it. You son of a bitch.
Let's go big on this. Make it big.
What's that you got there, Noel? You got something?
Well, you see,
Marvel Treasury. What's that?
This is a Marvel Treasury edition of the History of the Marvel Universe, written by Mark Waid with art by Javier Rodriguez, who is an amazing illustrator. This book was great. This is just wildly great. I'm just gonna read this for the whole time. If anybody's not read this, you should pick it up. If you enjoyed any aspect of this comic, the tone as well as the art. History of the Marvel Universe. Brian,
I concur.
Yes.
did you finish reading the History of the Marvel Universe?
I did not, although I really liked
Jesus
what
fucking
we did
Christ.
read. Yeah, I didn't read it. I've never nobody ever told me one way or the other if it was any good. I never heard anything about it after after
I'm
it came out.
I'm gonna fucking buy it for you for your birthday or something. Like, it doesn't make
Coming
any
up.
sense. It seems as though it was just like made for you, and I'm just advocating for it.
I do love
Did
that
you-
wide range history.
Didn't you buy that for Len?
I bought it for Len, and he hates it.
Oh no! Tell him to give
I
me
think
his
he hates it because of you.
Yeah. Well, you know what? He could always use another copy. Copies all around. I'm sure. You know what? Actually, I think Len doesn't like it because of the Treasury Edition size. It's just too hard for him to take it everywhere because I know he wants to take it everywhere.
Yeah.
He only reads things in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I will likely.
And he goes
I'll
to the
buy
bathroom
him
everywhere.
I'll buy him the standard trade paperback so he could take it to every bathroom he visits.
Yeah.
But besides the point, this was fun. This was cool. I liked the idea of this a lot. I have just now been kind of reading Dan Slott's Fantastic Four run. So I don't want to read all of this event until I kind of get to it. But this kind of one-off and that introductory issue from before they're just making me more excited for finishing this run.
Yeah.
So
I read the Fantastic Four. So when we read it for the show, the intro one, I really, really liked it. So I didn't want to read this before like being at that point in the story. So I read the FF one. This has nothing to do with it at all. You know, it's
no.
Yeah.
This is as side questy as it gets, and I think it's really fun. But well, I mean, maybe not. The end is still very much in line with, I'm assuming, what the plot is for the next like.
That
issue
actually
of
does
this.
tie in a little bit, but not in a way that you needed to read it.
But also, like, even when we were reading Empire, I think we all collectively really enjoyed that because it felt like an old school Marvel crossover. Even reading those Fantastic Four tie-ins and stories and just like that whole, it was just like, I think I'm going to really enjoy reading this Fantastic Four run. And it like Dan Slott has been teasing the Reckoning War for
like 8 years.
Since
much
longer.
longer
She-Hulk?
than that. Like
She-Hulk,
15 years.
15
yeah.
years?
So I can't imagine this isn't his finale. I mean, they haven't announced anything yet, but I mean, it feels like the perfect finale of a run. What are we up to, like issue 42 or 43 of Fantastic Four? There's this, like, drop the mic at 50 and
maybe
move on to the next. I like it. Just this feels like a great capper for like a really fun, tight run. I like it.
I'll tell you.
Hal's in
speaking
the
of
comments
suppositions,
buy it for me, Noel. I won't hate it.
sounds fair. Do it.
We'll do a raffle for
You can raffle it off. Yeah.
for the Hero Initiative.
Available thing.
No
I'll tell
joke. This is the best, guys. Let's talk about this again. Let's do a book club right now.
Right.
I'll read it.
We haven't done a book club in a long time. He's
Go
out.
ahead, Brian. I deleted him.
There we go. For just from the show, right?
No, he doesn't exist anymore.
Oh no. Speaking of ultimate nullification,
There's
Galactus.
annotations.
Oh, annotations.
God damn it!
That's my
Go ahead,
favorite
Brian.
selling point. I really thought Reed was going to come up with a way in this story to feed Galactus, so that he didn't need to destroy planets, and just like things turn out even better because of Uatu. And they didn't go that route, but Galactus is no longer a problem for the universe.
Yeah, he just murdered him.
Yeah, he did. Is it
I
murder
gave
if
him a
somebody is
choice.
trying to eat you? Is that just this will count as
Right,
murder?
this would be
Right.
self-defense, right?
He nullified him. I was being facetious.
Yeah.
As a joke, but I guess that didn't fly. I apologize. I will be more specific next time.
It flew. I just want to get
To the
into
ground. It flew to the ground.
which is a very desirable part of most flights.
To go straight into
true.
the ground.
Right.
What are you getting
there.
on? Yeah.
Part of it is the landing, right?
Yeah. Right.
A very integral but small part.
Yeah.
Not immediate.
All right. Let's see. Oh, hey, the Clay People Colossus. We're gonna do a thunder round on this. Is that what we're doing?
Thunder round.
All right. Let's see. Who's doing it? Is it Brian?
I think I'm doing it.
Great. I'm gonna bring up my
right.
timer.
Here it is.
All right, let's see what the freaking Top Cow and Image Comics, written by Matt Hawkins, art by Christian Zabari. I used to do a podcast called the Cannibal Horror Cast, which was me and Mark L. Miller and Christian Zabari and Stephen Andrade, and we would talk about horror every week. And he is also an artist, Christian is, and so he drew this issue. A biracial boy in the Midwest uses a supernatural gift from his grandfather to push back against two older boys who are terrorizing him. In a tale inspired by the song Colossus by heavy metal band The Clay People, intolerance, drug addiction, poverty, and boredom collide into a perfect storm of grisly revenge. All right. 60 seconds on the clock. Brian, go.
I thought this was a well-told story. It's interesting that you say you know the artist from a horror podcast, because it's a very horror art kind of art style, and very well done. Yep. It tells the story of a golem that is brought to life as revenge on these two very dislikable bullies, very fleshed out in their dislikability. And a man had survived a concentration camp and brought this book, which describes a way of building a golem, which is in Jewish, Hebrew, Yiddish mythology, all that stuff is like a clay being brought to life to protect the Jewish people from anti-Semitism, but evidently it also sometimes, it's like kind of hard to control. It's it can turn back on you. So that was the one part about it that I thought was a little odd. So this kid gets
end of round.
Oh no, I am going to say this though. The the kid, the way that you bring a golem into life or animation is to write a Hebrew on a word on its forehead, and in this they wrote it, but in English characters, which I thought was odd that it wouldn't be the Hebrew word. Yeah, and overall, it felt like it was like, oh, it's odd that was just one issue. Knowing at the end that it was a song, that it was based on a song, that makes more sense. That there was a certain unique and unusual quality to the story that makes perfect sense. That it's like, oh, this is like a sort of a narrative of this song.
Yeah, just in and out.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and just the way that it's like a short story in a way. It's got almost an episode of an anthology show kind of thing that really makes sense. That it was like a story told in a song that they then put out there. But cool. Yeah, and there's some back matter where the guy talks about like, hey, this is why I wrote this, and I don't usually read that kind of stuff, but it was interesting. He gives a little history of the golems, that kind of thing.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, Christian had 2 books come out this week. Beside Colossus, he also had Rad Wraith, which is it's a 1980s horror anthology. It's like the cover's got a skateboarder, but the skateboard itself is like a demon with like a face. It's really really fun. Called Rad Wraith. I kickstarted it many like a year ago, and now it's out on your local comic book shelves. All right. Last but not least, well, least to me because I didn't read it. Land of the Living Gods #2, Aftershock Comics, written by Isaac Mogajani. Mogajani? Sure. With art by Santos. Things go from bad to worse for Naledi as she and Kalo arrive at Saripa, a stronghold built on one of the last remaining pieces of arable land left in southern Africa. Arable land?
Arable.
Arable. Arable.
Able to produce, crops and that kind of like place that you can live.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Not like Superman Returns. That was
like how
not
he flies. He's arable.
arable. No. Superman Returns, the movie where his whole Lex Luthor's whole plan is to make unlivable rock a new continent for people to live on.
Who would want to luxury condo on my lightning island?
Yeah.
Well, it was a kryptonite bedrock of kryptonite island.
Yeah. It's like, what a good plan. People are gonna be fighting over this.
I mean, I'm thinking.
Will the radiation slowly kill you? We don't know.
Hopefully, Saripa is known by a ruthless warlord named Shandu, and he will do whatever it takes to hold on to power in this dying world, even if that means performing human sacrifices. Like I said, I did not read this issue 1 or 2. I meant to, and I forgot because I have a baby. What did you think, Noel?
I like this a lot. The first issue came out in a week that I think were stacked, but I kind of kept it in my back pocket for the second issue, hoping that maybe somebody else would like to talk about it with me. I got really positive We Live style vibes from this story and this setup. It's a whole different world that is built up very quickly in the basis of, I want to say, Zulu culture. A lot of them speak Zulu and Zimbabwean, and
I think it's like a Pan-African, like at this point in history, those things, because their translations are from a variety of different things. Yeah.
There's, the way that they introduce all of these like disparate kind of themes and cultures and ideas is not unlike Firefly in a way, where you're watching an episode and all of a sudden somebody starts speaking Chinese. They don't explain it. They don't really give too much about it. It just slowly starts to reveal what the ordinary world is here. Like the first issue, we jump right into this young woman's life, and she just happens to have a magical plant that's able to produce whatever herb she might need in order to care for her sick mother. And you're like, is this fucking plant sentient? What's happening?
Yeah, like gestures and stuff, right?
Yeah, there's a confidence in way this book just slowly reveals details that's not gatekeepy. It's more like intriguing and enticing. And I thought it was really impressive. The art's not the greatest, but it really, really works for this story. And each issue has just kind of ended on this kind of note of like, oh, okay. And I was impressed by it. I really enjoyed it. We don't talk enough about Aftershock Comics too. They've got a couple of bangers that are coming out here and there. Yeah. What did you think, Brian?
I loved it. I really, really enjoyed this book. I did read issue 1 right before that. Very cool future. It's an Afrofuturistic story, which is a narrative and visual aesthetic that I've really been enjoying recently. And I saw was in New York at the art museum there, and they had an Afrofuturism exhibit, and it was small but very cool. It's like a art style that I only became aware of a few years ago. And I think this is, a very cool interpretation, or not interpretation, but an example of that.
We don't see, and there's not many examples of like dystopian Afrofuturism that I could think of to even like refer to that this kind of plays in the sandbox of.
Yeah, JD has one in his shop at 4327 Main Street, called Hard Something. It's a hardcover, and it was on his main display island for a little while there, or a long while, and it looks very cool. I don't remember the name of it.
Helpful.
It's too bad.
What are we talking about?
There's an Afrofuturist graphic novel, hardcover original graphic novel that is, the covers are like in oranges and pinks, and it's smaller than a standard
Bottom feeders
graphic novel. No,
Bottom feeders is what I was thinking of.
no,
was a horror
it's
book.
bigger than that. It's like kind of just a little bit smaller than a normal trade, and it's in hardcover, and it's called Hard Something, I think, Hard Times or something of that nature. It looked very cool, and yeah, this future is very fleshed out. I love the color palette and art style in general. But like you said, Noel, it just brings some things in without telling you what the deal is with those things, and it's totally fine. You just get this like there's this fully fleshed out world that you get more and more glimpses of how this world works in a great way, in a way that we noticed not a lot of new fantasy kind of stories did when we were reviewing a lot of number one issue fantasy stories about a year or 2 years ago, that we found that they seem to be very fleshed out in the author's head, and then he hits you with a lot of information, or she hits you with a lot of information, or they do. And this is not that at all. This is like a cool windows into this ever-building world in a very intriguing way. So yeah, I loved it. The main character is an albino, and at first that's just what she looks like, and then it turns out that they are, highly prized in that world. So there's a little more to that story. There's a lot more to this story than we've seen, and I'm really into it.
Are we looking for the book he's referring to? Because I'm not sure what it is either.
JD, it's probably in
Hard.
What is it? Hard Ears. Yes, that looks really cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I really love this style.
Nailed it.
I don't have a lot of experience with it, or even know a lot of places to get experience with it. My girlfriend went to a museum it's like I had a lot of Afrofuturist stuff in Florida. Is one of the only places that I've seen stuff of that. There's a couple of novels, but yeah, if anybody has any recommendations, I'd love to hear them.
This is a really fun series. Well, I mean the tone is not fun, but it's surprising and a really nice read. Again, it gives me We Live and Firefly vibes, and that's just all positive.
Yeah, I compared it to fantasy stories a while ago, and like it is a sci-fi story in a way, but it has definite fantasy elements.
Well, yeah, she's explicitly looking for the land of the living gods.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's
a lot of supernatural mythology that we haven't even been explained yet, but we've seen pieces of it. I don't know how long this series is. Does it actually say in the or like?
I tried to find that out, because I wonder is this an ongoing? Is this a regular one? I would like to be receiving it and to have issues 1 and 2 if that's possible.
Get on your computer door. Between this and Bolero, every once in a while, you kind of go out of my way to read the solicitations and see if there's like cool stuff that I've never heard of by people I've never heard of. A lot of times it's miss over hit, but between Bolero and this, I feel like it's paying off. Some finding these like side books that are really, really great. Oh, and We Live, and this was good. I would highly recommend this.
Yeah, very cool. In fact, so in trying to find out if it was a miniseries or an ongoing, I was looking at it online, and it seemed like this may have been published as like a prose novel or something before that. Do you know anything about that?
No, I don't
Okay.
know anything. No.
Yeah, I didn't look too far into that, but it seemed like it was published last year. I don't know. It's listed on Google Books as a book by Isaac Mogajane, but I don't know. So that could be that's the comic. Never mind. I take it back. My wonderings.
Fucking stupid. Ugh. This is great. People should give this a sample. It's only issue 2. I will eat my hat if issue 1 is no longer available. If you can't find issue 1 at your local retailer, it's not too late to jump in. But yeah, that's all the comics.
Sweet.
That's all the comics. We did it.
We did it.
We did it.
Get the heck out of here, you jerks.
All right.
We did it.
Thanks for joining us. And don't forget, if you want a copy of JLA Avengers, we are doing, nice. We're doing a raffle. You can Venmo the shop at JD's Hero Complex, or you can PayPal the shop, JD's Hero Complex at gmail.com. They are $5 a raffle ticket. You can enter as many times as you want. If you just send me $25, I'll automatically sign you up for 5 raffle tickets. I think that's how math works. And that's it. You can help us by going, we have a new Patreon this month, Jason. So thank you, Jason. Really appreciate it. And that's it. We're going to get the frig out of here. Thank you. We will see you next time. Don't forget, tomorrow is book club. You can join us for that, and we will be talking about Captain America Truth. And I'm going to go do my orders before midnight. Bye.
See you guys later.
I love each and every one of you.